Hi everyone, it's Julie from Sprouts and Stems here. It is the first day of spring. Oh my gosh, thank God. I live in New Jersey, so winters are cold, although this winter was pretty mild, but generally winters are cold. And we didn't get like any snow, so it's like we got like one or two little snows. Like, if I'm not gonna get a winter wonderland, then there's no point in cold weather. So please fast forward to spring. Spring has arrived, spring nails, and I am going to be giving my monstera a much needed haircut. Since it is finally the growing season, it shouldn't really be a problem for this to pretty much immediately start putting out new growth as soon as I cut it. Although monsteras are pretty like resilient, they pretty much do that year round anyway. But the growing season is when we can start to really amp up our houseplant propagation, because we know that maybe some plants that aren't so resilient are going to easily bounce back. So today, like I said, going to be giving this guy a haircut. This one I already cut off like a month or so ago because it was just getting leggy. So I just chopped off this one long vine. So I'm going to do the same thing to these. And I'm also moving out of my apartment next week. So I figure it'll be easier anyway to have a shorter plant and not have to like worry about dragging this all along and getting caught on things. Please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And actually, on that note, I just wanted to say thank you for 1,000 subscribers. I'll put the timestamps in case you want to skip this part, but just like brief a little bit about me. I have been writing on my blog, sproutsandstems.com, for about 4 years, actually. And I've been really lucky that my blog has been pretty like successful, I would say, if I do say so myself. But I just started my YouTube channel like less than a year ago. I am a pretty introverted person, and I don't know if it seems like that or not from my videos, but I am. I would say I'm like an extroverted introvert. So when you have a blog, a lot of the advice is to also include some kind of video, whether you're doing YouTube or just like videos just on your blog, just as like a way to grow your business, because this is my business. My blog has been my business. But I've always been really hesitant to do that because video is scary. Like, let's be honest, video is scary. But eventually it got to the point where it was like, all right, I've done all the writing I want to do for a while. Let's see if I can start to branch out into some video and just see how it is. I started off just doing voiceover and not putting myself on camera at all. And my videos were so terrible in the beginning. And they're not that great now. Like, I'm just on my iPhone. But they're a lot better than they were at the beginning. And yeah, over the past almost year or so of doing video, I've just actually really come to enjoy it, which is something I never thought I would. But it has been a really cool experience, and it really means a lot to be at 1,000 subscribers and to just know that like people are enjoying my content. It is so much different than just like being behind a screen and writing a blog post. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you, and I hope you stick with me and continue to watch my videos. And this has also really allowed me to branch out into some other plant related content. Like, my blog is pretty much 80 to 90% plant care and propagation articles. Not a lot of like DIY projects or anything, but I really enjoy DIY and crafting and whatnot. So that has translated really well to videos as opposed to just writing like a how-to blog post. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot of fun exploring like the different things I can do that work better on video. And yeah, I hope to continue to grow with you guys. And I know I rambled a little bit, but I just wanted to say thank you and tell you a little bit about myself. So, yeah. Okay, now we will get into the propagation part of this video. All right, so let me just give you a shot. I'm probably honestly going to spend the majority of this video on the floor because it's kind of comfortable down here. So we'll just be chilling on the floor today. But this is my monstera adansonii, Swiss cheese plant, whatever you want to call it. I've had it maybe about a little bit over a year now, actually, I want to say. And I did buy it pretty large already. So it's not like I had one little tiny vine and it grew into this, but it has definitely grown a lot. I originally bought it in a pot like this size, and now look at this. Look at this baby. Beautiful. So what I'm gonna do today, I'm just gonna cut off, I just wanna make it short. I'm just gonna like chop. Let's see, how many are there? I think there's 3 potentially. Okay, there's actually a bunch of little vines right here, but I'm just going to cut these 2 like super long ones and then this one that's like getting a little bit long. So if you've seen any of my other propagation videos, you know I always like to do a little refresher of the nodes because I know that's confusing for people. And if you're just coming to my channel and this is the first video you're seeing, I want everyone to just understand what's going on if they don't understand already. So nodes on a plant are where new growth comes from. That could mean either roots or aerial roots. Like here's some little teeny tiny aerial roots. Can you see that? Come on. I think you can kind of see just like the brown. Or that could mean leaves or like another stem that branches off. Nodes are where new growth comes from. This is a node, this is a node, this is a node, 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 all the way. So when we propagate plants, we want to grow new roots on the cutting, the part we cut off, right? So we could turn it into a whole new plant. That means we need to make sure to include at least one node on the cutting. Obviously, with this plant, it's not going to be a problem because there's so many, but if you have like a smaller plant, just know you need to include at least one node on the cutting. So we want to cut below the node. That means, and this is where people get confused, and I know that because I used to get very confused as well. Below, I know this plant hangs down, so you think below is like down, but you hold the vine up to the ceiling as if it weren't hanging down, as if it was just like growing straight up. You pick out a node, say this one, you want to cut below it. And then that means that we will have this cutting and roots will grow out of that node. Oh, what are you doing? Stop. Don't do that. Okay. So I think I'm okay with keeping these cuttings long instead of cutting them into like a bunch of pieces. I think I might want to keep them long this time. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to start off by just cutting them to be long. So I think this one would be a good place to cut. Actually, I'm going to cut it here on this one, and then I'll probably cut off just this empty piece. Okay, so about a quarter to half inch or so below the node and below because, you know. Beautiful. And then I'm just gonna cut off this like random empty piece right just before this node. And then that should encourage the node that's still on this plant to push out some new growth. Let's see, I want it to be around the same height. I think I'll do this one and then cut off the excess. And then I'll probably remove this leaf as well, but like keep the node on it just because this leaf is kind of like a little sad. And oh my gosh, I'm tired today, guys. But the show must go on. The plant pretty much has always been here and stays here. The windows over there, it gets a little bit of light from the greenhouse lights and then just from the lights. You can't really see them, but the lights on the ceiling. So there really isn't a lot of light. So that's why some of these cuttings are a little bit like leggy and scraggly. Actually, this is kind of interesting. So I just noticed that I've already cut on this node before. You see that? So then I cut the stem off before, and then that triggered a new stem to start growing. And that is exactly what's going to happen. Again, I've propagated this plant a billion times because it's huge and it grows pretty quickly, as monsteras tend to do. I think this time I'll go a little shorter. There. Got a nice little pile down here. All right, so I've got this cute little jar, vintage-esque jar that I'm gonna use. I do like to propagate monstera, other basically any like vining plants, monstera, pothos, philodendron, pothos, whatever. I do like to propagate them in water. It's just what I prefer to do. You can definitely do this in potting mix, sphagnum moss, whatever your preferred medium is. I just like water. If you were doing this in like potted something other than water, just be sure to keep the medium moist, not too wet, just like damp at all times as the roots are developing. But other than that, everything else is basically the same. So, yikes. All right, where did I? Okay, so this is the cut end. And let's see. Okay, I am going to pluck this leaf off. Let's see, cut it off. Because I can tell that this is going to end up being underwater. So it doesn't make any sense to have a leaf underwater. It's just going to like fall off eventually. And you just do that. And that's it. You just make sure the nodes are under the water or potting mix or whatever you're using. And I think I will keep this leaf on. And I might cut these into shorter cuttings, but I don't know, honestly. For now, I'm going to keep them long. This one is already shorter, so I'm going to cut off this extra stem because, like, we don't need that. I'm also going to cut off this leaf. And am I going to cut off that leaf too? No. Nothing is really, it's not really an exact science, just it's if you have multiple nodes on the cutting, then it's always good to put more than one underwater because then you have more chances to grow roots. But if you have a short cutting, you can just make sure one node is underwater. Oops. But there has to be at least one. Okay, and then this last one. Yes, I will pluck you off. And then do I want to pluck you off also? No. I think I'll keep you on for now. Do I sound crazy? This is literally how I live my life. I just like talk to myself. I see. Oh, okay. Ah, yes. There's something about just a glass of water with a few vines. You know what I mean? It's just so pretty. It's just such a pretty look. Anyway, let me set this up somewhere where you can see like the whole thing. So that's it. I think now that I'm seeing they are looking like pretty scraggly, I think I am going to cut those two long ones in half, but I'll do that off camera just another time. But yeah, so there you go. Medium to bright indirect light. Make sure the water level stays full because it will evaporate over time. Make sure those nodes actually stay under the surface. And since we're in mid-March right now, I am expecting to see little roots relatively quickly. So that should be cool. And then I'm also expecting to see new growth. Oops. New growth where I cut. Actually, that's another old one. Yeah. There you go. I'm also expecting to see new growth relatively quickly on this plant. And just another day in the life of Mr. Monstera. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Hope you enjoyed this little propagation session. Let me know in the comments if you're excited for spring and for your houseplants to start pushing out some nice new growth. And please like this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and have a great day.